The world's oceans are facing unprecedented challenges, from rising temperatures to pollution and overfishing. Yet amidst these daunting issues lies a beacon of hope, an extraordinary natural wonder that holds the key to unlocking a sustainable future. Corals. These vibrant underwater ecosystems are not only crucial for marine biodiversity, but also for the very survival of our planet. But despite their ecological significance, corals are in peril, facing a multitude of threats that have led to their widespread decline. However, there is a glimmer of hope on the horizon. In recent years, scientists and conservationists have made remarkable discoveries about coral propagation, covering nature's secrets to growing new coral reefs. Join us on a journey into the heart of the ocean as we explore the latest advancements in coral propagation. Discover how these fragile ecosystems can be nurtured and restored, and learn about the inspiring individuals who are working tirelessly to save the corals. Before we begin, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Your support means everything to us, and will help us continue to bring you informative and entertaining videos about the incredible coral reefs. Now let's dive into the fascinating world of coral propagation. In the vast expanse of our oceans, coral reefs stand as some of the most diverse and vibrant ecosystems on Earth. These intricate structures, formed by tiny organisms called polyps, are home to a quarter of all marine species, providing food, shelter, and breeding grounds. Despite their ecological importance, corals are under threat from various factors such as climate change, pollution, and overfishing. The decline of coral reefs has a detrimental impact on coastal communities that rely on them for food security, tourism, and protection from storms. Fortunately, advancements in science and technology have opened up new possibilities for coral propagation, offering hope for the restoration of degraded reefs and the preservation of these invaluable ecosystems for future generations. Coral propagation is the process of growing new coral colonies from fragments of existing ones, or from coral larvae. This technique has been used for centuries by indigenous cultures for subsistence purposes, and more recently by aquarists and conservationists for reef restoration projects. Traditional methods of coral propagation include fragmentation, where pieces of healthy coral are broken off and attached to a substrate, and sexual and asexual reproduction, where coral larvae are collected and grown in a controlled environment before being transplanted to a reef site. Advancements in coral propagation research have led to the development of innovative techniques such as microfragmentation, where coral fragments are grown in a laboratory setting, and larval rearing, where coral eggs and sperm are collected and fertilized in controlled conditions. These techniques allow for the mass production of corals, which can then be outplanted to restore damaged reefs. One of the most promising areas of research is in the field of coral cryopreservation, where corals are frozen and stored at ultra-low temperatures for long-term storage and future restoration efforts. This technique has been successfully used to preserve endangered coral species and could play a vital role in the future of coral reef conservation. One of the key benefits of using these advanced propagation techniques is that they allow for the mass production of corals, which is essential for large-scale reef restoration projects, by growing corals in a controlled environment. Scientists and conservationists can ensure that the corals are healthy and disease-free before they are transplanted to a reef site. This increases the chances of survival and reduces the time and resources required for monitoring and maintenance. Moreover, these techniques enable the genetic diversity of coral populations to be preserved. By using corals from different genetic lineages, scientists can create more resilient reefs that are better able to adapt to the changing environment. This is particularly important in the context of climate change, as coral reefs will need to be able to withstand higher temperatures and sea levels in order to survive. Another advantage of advanced coral propagation techniques is that they allow for the farming of corals for use in the aquarium trade. This can reduce the pressure on wild coral populations and provide a sustainable source of corals for aquariums. By growing corals in a controlled environment, farmers can meet the demand for corals without having to harvest them from the ocean. This is not only beneficial for the conservation of wild coral populations, but also for the aquarium industry, as it provides a consistent and reliable supply of high-quality corals. Despite the numerous benefits of advanced coral propagation techniques, there are also some challenges associated with their use. One of the main challenges is the cost and complexity of these techniques. Growing corals in a laboratory setting or rearing coral larvae can be expensive and time-consuming, requiring specialized equipment and expertise. Additionally, there are concerns that the corals grown in a controlled environment may not be well adapted to the harsh conditions of the open ocean. However, ongoing research is aimed at addressing these challenges and improving the techniques for coral propagation. Scientists are developing new methods for coral cryopreservation, optimizing conditions for coral growth, and studying the genetic diversity of coral populations to ensure that the corals used for propagation are well adapted to the environment. One organization that is at the forefront of coral propagation research is the Coral Reef Alliance, a global nonprofit organization dedicated to the conservation and restoration of coral reefs. The Coral Reef Alliance works with scientists, policymakers, and local communities to develop and implement innovative solutions for coral reef conservation. One of the organization's key focus areas is on improving coral propagation techniques. The Coral Reef Alliance supports research into new methods for coral cryopreservation, as well as the development of low-cost and efficient techniques for coral growth and transplantation. The organization also works to promote the use of these techniques by training local communities in coral propagation and restoration. Another organization that is making significant contributions to coral propagation is the Nature Conservancy, a global conservation organization dedicated to protecting ecologically important lands and waters around the world. The Nature Conservancy has been involved in coral reef conservation for decades, and one of its key priorities is the restoration of degraded coral reefs. The organization works in partnership with local communities and governments to identify priority areas for coral reef restoration and to develop and implement effective restoration plans. The Nature Conservancy also invests in research to improve coral propagation techniques and to better understand the threats to coral reefs. The organization's scientists work to identify the best methods for growing and transplanting corals, as well as to understand the factors that contribute to coral reef decline, so that they can develop effective strategies for mitigating these threats. These organizations are just two examples of the many groups that are working to advance the field of coral propagation and to protect our planet's precious coral reef ecosystems. Through their research, conservation, and restoration efforts, these organizations are helping to ensure that future generations will be able to enjoy the beauty and wonder of coral reefs. As we have seen, coral propagation is an essential tool for the conservation and restoration of coral reefs. By understanding the different methods of coral propagation and the challenges and opportunities associated with them, we can better support the efforts of scientists and conservationists who are working to protect these fragile ecosystems. From traditional techniques such as fragmentation to innovative approaches such as coral cryopreservation, there are a wide range of tools available to us for growing and propagating corals. It is through the application of these techniques that we can help to ensure the survival of coral reefs for generations to come. The future of coral propagation is bright with ongoing research and innovation in the field. We can expect to see even more effective and efficient techniques for growing and restoring coral reefs. As we continue to learn more about the biology of corals and the factors that affect their growth, we can develop new methods for coral propagation that are tailored to specific reef ecosystems and species. For example, researchers are exploring the use of genetic engineering to make corals more resistant to the effects of climate change. By manipulating the genes responsible for coral growth and resilience, scientists may be able to create corals that are better able to withstand the changing conditions of the ocean. Another exciting development in coral propagation is the use of 3D printing to create artificial coral reefs. By printing structures that mimic the shape and texture of natural coral reefs, scientists and engineers can provide a substrate for corals to grow on and restore damaged reefs more efficiently. This technology can also be used to create artificial coral nurseries, where corals can be grown in a controlled environment before being transplanted to a reef site. In conclusion, coral propagation is an essential tool for the conservation and restoration of coral reefs. By understanding the different methods of coral propagation and supporting the work of scientists and conservationists, we can help to ensure the survival of these fragile ecosystems. As technology and our knowledge of coral biology continue to advance, we can expect to see even more innovative and effective techniques for growing and restoring coral reefs. It is through these efforts that we can help to protect coral reefs for future generations and preserve the beauty and biodiversity of our oceans. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of the ocean. If you enjoyed this video, please take a moment to like and share it with your friends and family. Your support means everything to us and will help us continue to bring you informative and entertaining videos about the incredible coral reefs. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on all of our latest adventures. Till next time, keep exploring and stay curious.